I call to order the regular session of Storm Lake City Council meeting of February 16th, 2026. All who are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Council. Council, are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as is.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martinez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Rickliff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Agenda is set. Okay, Council, are there any disclosures that need to be made to any items on the agenda? Councilperson Martinez.
I will refrain from anything regarding the Highview Drive situation.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I'm a employee of BVU, and there's a request from BVU.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you can just abstain when we call for the vote on those items, okay? All right, thank you, but thank you for bringing that up. Okay. So, hearing no other items from council, we will now move to hear the public. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to speak on a non-agenda item? You're on the agenda. Yes, thank you, though. Yes. Okay, do we have anyone online to speak on a non-agenda item? Great. All right. Council, are there any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Great. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Rickliff. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Ramos. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. Okay, now we will move on to the first item on the agenda, under new business. Motion for a request to waive rental fees for Sunrise Pointe Banquet Hall. Is that her? No, Chris is coming?
Yes.
Okay, come on up. Thank you. Please just introduce yourself and where you're from.
My name is Karen Hickson. I'm from Storm Lake, and I'm here on behalf of the Equestrian Organization.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I'll try to not take too much of your time, but I want to lay out what the Equesters are, what brings me here, and why I think it will be beneficial for you to give us the waiver. So the Equestrian Organization is a group of people that love history, want to preserve history, its stories, its artifacts, and preserve them for future generations. It's organized on local, state, national, and even international level. Our local group has just celebrated its 50th year, so we've been around a while. The state organization usually has an annual event called the Fall Pointe, and they choose regions around the state to host this event. I got the email that they're having this event in Northwest Iowa, and our chapter, along with 4 other chapters, are supposed to carry this forward and host it. I thought it sounded like a great idea to showcase Storm Lake. The other chapters are Highview, Windrow, so I offered, I said we were a small group of people, there's only like 6 in our chapter, and I think we could pull this off. They jumped on it. They came to, this president of the organization came to Storm Lake and she says, I think it's going to be a great place to host. What they didn't tell me is that I don't have a budget. So I'm supposed to cover all this fancy stuff through registration cost, which they warned me. We have a lot of elderly people that are used to having a low registration cost. Okay, so I'm doing what I can to have a great opportunity here in Storm Lake, but keep my cost at a minimum. We've looked at lots of options, but we honed in on Sunrise Pointe just because of the accessibility. It gives us flexibility as far as bringing in our own food, plus it has the beautiful view of the lake. So I think that we could really sell people on coming back to Storm Lake by hopefully hosting it in a prime location. So this event happens October 9th and 10th. It's a 1.5 day. They anticipate about 100 people to attend. They bring them in, we bring them in Friday afternoon, and we allow them to tour the places that we've selected. So we're thinking Santa's Castle, Harker House, BV Historical Museum, Tree Museum, other opportunities to showcase the history of Storm Lake. So they come, they tour, and I hear they shop. So they come, they will require overnight lodging, which will benefit Storm Lake. The evening meal is also on them, so they'll be dining in Storm Lake. Then on Saturday, we host them, providing coffee, a lunch, and speakers. And the event lasts maybe 8:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon. By doing this, and hopefully keeping our costs low, we will be able to also support the other nonprofits, such as Santa's Castle, Harker House, and BV Historical Museum, by supplementing the cost through our registration. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So we're asking that we have I guess there's a setup fee on Friday afternoon. We'd like that to be waived so we can set up for the event. And then the event is held on Saturday. We'd like to have you consider, please, to waive that as well. Do you have questions?
Well, we certainly appreciate you highlighting Storm Lake.
My
so
pleasure.
Questions from the council?
When's your registration? Is that on Friday?
There will be a pre-registration,
Okay.
so we'll have an idea of how many are actually coming. And then when they arrive in town, we've talked to the Historical Society, so they'll be going to the Historical Society to pick up their registration packets there. We're also working with Storm Lake United to gather a lot of information about the community and provide them with lists of all the restaurants and all the shopping and all the good things that we have to offer.
So I did a lot of research on this because I hadn't heard much about it before. And they said there's like 800 and some members in Iowa. Do you have any projects going on in this area or anything you're planning on doing here?
You know what? This is my second year as president. I was elected because I had computer skills. So I am also learning more and more about Questers, but what I have learned so far is that I love it. And the state organization has projects. And so part of the fundraising that does occur is shared between the state and our chapters. We've never really accumulated any kind of a budget to do anything big. Maybe this will give us the incentive to do something around the community that needs our attention. But the state does have projects. I can't list them off the top of my head.
I looked at a bunch of them up yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, just out of curiosity, because it's a clubhouse and SNL Hospitalities handles, I believe, how the whatever is done in there. Is there going to be, if there's alcohol served or anything like that?
We're not planning on that,
Okay.
no.
Because I don't believe under the rules they can bring any in.
That's correct.
Yes,
That's correct. Thank you, Councilperson Piercy, for clarifying that. I think if the council approves this, then There are requirements that I think the city and you will go through in terms of bringing in your own food. There's an insurance requirement, no alcohol can be brought in. It only would be served by staff and you would have to pay for that. So council, it looks like we're asking for a waiver of the $150 setup fee and the $350 rental fee on Saturday, but there is still a $200 deposit required at time of booking. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Is council ready to take action on this item? If so, then I will entertain a motion to waive the rental fees for Sunrise Pointe Banquet Hall for the Questers event on October 9th from 8:30 to 3, October 10th for the Fall Fling. Moved by Councilperson Martinez, second by Councilperson Ramos. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Yay.
Thank you. I know
Thank you so
Parker
much.
House is already ready for you.
Yeah, good, good, good. I think it'll be a great showcase. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Olson.
Hey, Mayor, Council. First item we have here is a second reading on the ordinance vacating the public right-of-way portion of Highview Drive, in the city of Storm Lake, south of La Cheatham. Again, this is 6 lots. This is adjoining 6 lots that are owned by the hospital currently, and the reason for this is so the hospital can put an addition for a clinic on the northeast side of the existing hospital. Again, this will be the second reading for this.
Second reading, does council have any questions or comments? With that then, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 070-2025-2026, an ordinance vacating the public right-of-way in a portion of Highview Drive in the city of Storm Lake. And this again is the second reading.
I so move.
Moved by Councilperson Piercy, second.
Second.
Councilperson Reiner is the second. All in favor? Oh, wait, this is a roll call vote, sorry. Okay, Councilperson Piercy,
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez,
Abstain.
Councilperson Rickless,
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos, Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Okay. Motion moves. Okay, Mr. Olson, you're still up.
Yes, ma'am. We got 2 requests for rezoning. The first one is a public hearing on the proposed rezoning of the 6 lots that are located adjacent to Highview Drive. Again, this is for the hospital addition that's going to occur on the northeast corner of the existing hospital. So these are all on Highview Drive, and the current zoning of this is R1, which allows for single-family dwelling use. The proposed zoning will be IN3, which permits the hospital to have a clinic there. The R1 does not allow for that, so in order to do their addition, they have to rezone to IN3. To the lots that are abutting the IN3 district to the south, so this would be an extension of the existing IN3. The Planning and Zoning Commission did review this at their meeting on February 9th, and they recommended unanimously to approve this request.
With that, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to comment on this item? Is there anyone online who would like to comment on this? Have we received any comments on this item? Okay. With that, I will close the public hearing. Mr. Olson.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, again, this is a proposal by Buena Vista Regional Medical Center to rezone 6 parcels that are located in Highview Drive. Again, the zoning will change from R1 low-density residential to IN3, which allows for clinic and hospital uses on that property. And that'll be an extension of the IN3 district to the south. Any
questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 08020252026 on a proposed rezoning of 6 parcels located on Highview Drive.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Reiner, second by Councilperson Piercy. This is a roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Abstain.
Councilperson Rickliff.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Olson.
And Mayor and Council, this is a public hearing on a proposed rezoning of the lot listed as 942 Oneida Street. Buena Vista University owns 2 lots that are just north of the fire department's parking area, and those are currently zoned IN1 for public services uses. The proposal is to rezone this to R4, High Density Residential District. This is a proposal between Storm Lake Community School District and the university to sell this lot. The community school district would use this as part of their building trades program. This would be the last building they put there. It'd be for a single family dwelling. Lot's not big enough to put a multifamily dwelling. This question came up during the P&Z meeting, and the neighbors were okay with that. They were worried there's maybe going to be a multifamily, but the lot's barely big enough for one single family dwelling, and that's what they're proposing. The P&Z did review this again at their February 9th meeting, and they recommended unanimously approval to go from the IN1 district to the R4 High Density Residential District for the purpose of putting a single family dwelling up.
With that, I will open a public hearing on this item. Anybody wish to speak for or against this rezoning? Is there anyone online who would like to speak to the rezoning of this property? So it's *6. And have we received anything?
Yeah.
That public hearing is closed. Mr. Olson.
And Mayor and Council again, this is a request by Buena Vista University to change the zoning of one of their lots from IN1 district to R4 district for the purpose of selling this to the the Storm Lake Community School District for the building trades program to construct a new single family dwelling on this lot. Again, P&Z met on this on February 9th, and they would have unanimously approved the request for this.
And this is the first reading,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? Okay. Any questions or comments from the council? With that, then, I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 090-2025-2026, amending the zoning classification of certain real estate on Oneida Street. Moved by Councilperson Martinez, second. Second by Councilperson Ramos. Again, this is a roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickliff.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Abstain.
Thank you. Ordinance passes.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Colbert.
Good evening, thank you. So this is resolution number 48R2025-2026, approving pay application number 11 for Storm Lake Well number 22 project in the amount of $72,960. So this is a continuation of work on well 22. Well 22 is up and functioning and running. Load test on the generator happened today, and punch list is in progress. It's nearing the end of the project.
Questions or comments from the council?
Are we getting this?
Councilperson Piercy.
Sorry, are we getting this done for the bid price that was given?
We are actually on a change order, contract change order. So that is, I think it was $49,000, roughly higher than the original bid, original contract price. So it's $2,429,861.53. currently for current project price.
Why did the change order come in on a new project like this?
This, excuse me,
Yeah.
Tom, could you give me a little assist? I wasn't here for
I
this
know
portion
that.
of it, so.
We know.
Yeah, so there was a change order at the beginning of the project, when the contractor began drilling the well. We found a layer in there that was suitable for what we call a sand and gravel well. Around here, we drilled a lot of test wells looking for those sands and gravel wells because they're really good water quality, but they're really challenging to find. And so when we did the test drill, or when they were drilling their test hole, they encountered that. And so the thought process was enlarge the building, we'll add a little bit of piping to accommodate another future well, which I think we'll probably have some conversations here upcoming in the near future. But it's to accommodate that second well. So that way we're saving on the electrical, we're saving on another building, and we're saving on some water main pipe. So the $47,000 change order will ultimately save several $100,000 on the next project that we do.
And this 700 gallon minute well?
Approximately, yep.
Any other questions, Council? You know, we're always thrilled with change orders. Okay, no other questions? Then I can entertain a motion. So, is there a motion to approve resolution number 48-R-2025-2026, approving pay application number 11 for Storm Lake Well number 22 project?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Rickliffs,
Second.
second by Councilperson Martinez. This is a roll call vote. Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickliffs.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thanks. We're on the same project, same well, same location, resolution number 49-R-2025-2026. So this would be a resolution approving pay application number 12 for the Storm Lake Well number 22 project. This is in the amount of $55,835.91.
Council? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 49-R-2025-2026, approving pay application number 12 for the Storm Lake Well number 22 project.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martinez,
Second.
second by Councilperson Reiner. This is a roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickliffs.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're glad to have you back,
Thanks.
especially when you read out the resolution for me. Okay. Next item, Ms. Navratil.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. This is resolution number 50R 2025-2026, approving the acquisition of real estate. So this item comes almost a month, almost 6 weeks after we had the water plant ad hoc committee location rate presentation on January 5th, where at that time members of the committee recommended locations for the new water plant. So the purchase in front of you is to acquire property from Marlin Frederick Trust, located at 90th Avenue in Storm Lake, which is approximately 89.13 acres. The property would be used for public purpose, including construction of a new water treatment facility, other utility uses, and other development consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. The terms of the purchase is $2,448,950, with the October 2026 agricultural conservation. It's a WHP payment that would go to the seller. Closing would be on or before November 30th, 2026, with 30 days notice from the seller, so it could potentially be even earlier than November 30th. They just have to give us 30 days notice. The seller would be allowed to rent the north 40 acres, which is 36.5 tillable acres for $100 per acre for crop years 2027, 2028, and 2029. And that the buyer, the city, will pay $100,000 earnest money to be held in a trust by common law office until closing.
Thank you. Questions from the council? Comments? Oh, Councilperson Martinez, sorry.
I was gonna wait a little bit more.
You could.
As I previously stated, I have a concern building a water plant directly next to the playground of an early elementary school, which is our smallest children that we educate here in Storm Lake. I'm been made aware that we would have a way to get out of this in the event that we find that this could be a dangerous idea, because I'm not an environmentalist. I don't know anything about what is safe and what is not safe, but that is my only concern, especially since it looks like we had discussed maybe using the more north, the further north plot of land as that piece of property, and it looks like in that's not the case, that we are looking at the closest to the elementary, or the early elementary school for the water plant. So that is my concern.
Council, other comments or questions? Thank you, Councilperson Martinez. So this is clearly just for the purchase of the property. No decision has been made on the design or placement of the water treatment plant on the land right now, correct?
Correct.
So we're not that far. This is just the land purchase. Just for clarity for everybody else.
Well, not, when you look at the impact, it says fiscal impacts. So we'd be able to till and crop on 27, 28, and 29. So.
Honorable
it's
Mayor,
included in that.
Honorable Mayor and Council, maybe I can clarify. The north 40 is the 40 acres farthest away from the early elementary school. So any of the herbicides, pesticides that would be used, you still have a 40-acre plot in between the early elementary and the property that is going to be farmed.
And
no construction would be occurring until design. I mean, you're looking at least 2 to 3 years before construction would occur anyway.
Well,
Right.
the reason I brought it up is because
Right.
you say that that's what would we still be farming, and you didn't say anything about the plot closer to the school.
Right, yes, I appreciate that.
And is it
Councilperson.
correct that the property is currently being farmed?
The property is currently in an agricultural conservation. I'm not certain what chemicals, I'm not certain what is being grown there.
The only thing
Councilperson Piercy.
I wanted people to know is that, you know, if they're gonna wonder why we can't build or do somewhere else, it comes down to where we can buy the property. And this is the best area on the west side is where we're gonna find any more wells to put in, because there's not as much water supply on the east side of town as there is on the west side of town.
Councilperson Rickles.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think this is a good opportunity. Anytime we have an opportunity to buy land, I think is a good thing. It's hard to come by. We've had struggles with that for a while. And I think this makes sense just because it's gonna help keep costs down from having to run pipe and everything to tie into the current infrastructure.
Councilperson Reiner or Councilperson Ramos, anything to add? Thank you. With that then, I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 50-R-2025-2026, approving the acquisition of real estate. Your motion.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Rickles. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Reiner. Again, this is a roll call vote. Councilperson Piercy.
Aye.
Councilperson Martinez.
Aye.
Councilperson Rickles.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramos.
Aye.
Councilperson Reiner.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Gibbons.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. This item is a motion setting a public hearing for the fiscal year 2027 to 2031 proposed capital improvement plan. Following previous work sessions and direction from council, this item sets a public hearing for March 2nd, 2026 at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers, prior to the approval of the capital improvement plan for fiscal year 27 to 2031. Recommendation is to set the public hearing for March 2nd at 5 p.m. here in the council chambers.
Questions or comments from council? With that, I'll entertain a motion setting the public hearing for the fiscal year 2027, 2031, wow, that sounds weird, proposed capital improvement plan for March 2nd, 2026. Moved by Councilperson Ramos. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martinez, and this is just a straightaway vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It is approved. With that, I will entertain any requested items from the council. For future meetings. Okay, with that then, we will go down to the tables and go into our next budget work session. Thank you. Okay, council, this will be our work session. This is our, no, we still have more work sessions, never mind.
We still have more.
We have
work
more.
sessions.
Okay, with that, I will
It's not
turn
our
this
last
over
one
to Mr. Gibbons and Ms. Never.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. We are here to talk about operations and maintenance. So we've had our capital improvement plan that you just had the public hearing on this evening for our next city council meeting. Since we need to continue to move forward at a pretty brisk pace here, we're going to talk operations and maintenance. Like we've done in previous years, we're breaking the budget up into enterprise funds, which will be this evening. So you'll have the sewer, water, stormwater fund, landfill, and then Mr. Gibbons here is going to talk about the proposed property tax levy rates. I'm not going to hold everybody into suspense until the end here. So we're just going to go ahead and start off with the sewer funds. You should all have a white sheet or pack of information with you. We have Ron Covert, Jorge Terran here from sewer, and Tyler, I'm sure you have some overview of all of the funds so that we don't have to talk about if every single fund, the same thing over and over.
Yes, so consistent throughout all of the departments, especially the enterprise because they're self-supporting, you'll see the increase to insurance costs, about 11.73% for this year is what our insurance costs increase. It'll vary for the chemicals. from one department to another, whether it be water or wastewater. And then also included in here are the recommendations for the proposed increases. And we'll go through those. For sewer, it's going to be, the recommendation is 7%. For water, it's going to be the water ad hocs, about $12 to $13 per month for an average residential user. Both of those are included in the proposal. Those will be subject to any passage of ordinance by the city council for actual adoption. So some of those are built in to these scenarios. But I'll let each department kind of talk about the details of their day-to-day operations.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, we currently have 5 full-time employees at the wastewater plant. We barely have a newer crew with someone less than a year. And our newest is a couple months. So we have 2 grade 4 operators. One recently got his grade 1, and 2 have had no certifications, just due because of the training, and they're not able to test yet. We have a daily flow of 2.3 million per day. We currently have 16 lift stations that we maintain in town, 3 extra there are just like sump pumps at our campground at Chittavo Park and other parks. Force main, the sewer pipe, in town we have about 62 miles worth of sewer pipe that we maintain. Force main is about 12, and gravity main is about 50 miles. Yeah, questions on any of
Council?
that?
Does anybody have questions about the factors affecting the budget? That paragraph at the bottom. I will say I continue to be concerned about the difference between the reality of cost and the estimates that we're getting from engineers. So if we can get those closer, it would be great in the future. Jorge, do we have sufficient staffing for the treatment plant?
We do what we can. I feel we need a couple extra hands.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me, Jorge? No, these are conversations that we've had internally and, just to keep our rates with what they are, because rates pay for people. That's one of the discussions we've had. If when we hire more people, the rates are gonna have to go higher. I mean, it can't do the work without people, and we can't do the work without paying people.
When's the ice house lift station supposed to be completed?
It's supposed to be completed sometime in August or late September.
They were moving dirt today.
Yeah. I didn't know where they were hauling it to. I seen it was going out of town, so I didn't know why that was.
Any other questions on the sewer fund and wastewater?
So as I mentioned, this includes a 7% increase for the $5.3 million worth of revenue. The average residential bill increase for just the sewer portion is anticipated to be $3.92. When comparing that to what we use is the City of Ames puts together a rate study of all cities with population over 10,000 in the state. So that way, it's voluntary, you don't have to participate, so it doesn't have all of them. But the ones that they do get, you can kind of see where Stone Lake ranges, even with a 7% increase. We'll be at 50.89, and the median is about 44.82. So keeping on track, but right around that median rate for sewers. This year, there's no proposed changes to anything that's in the fee resolution related to shutoffs or turn-ons or anything related to sewer.
Can I back up one?
Sure.
I have a question about this. It says there's 24% of the flow comes from residential and 75% from commercial.
Yeah, that would be your like Meridian and your Hillshire.
Just the turkey plant?
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Council?
Are there things that residents and businesses can do to lower the flow or without?
We found a lot of sump pumps being tied
Yeah.
to the sanitary sewer. There's no way of finding unless we go and investigate or when you're doing something. Or their codes is doing some inspection of some sort. But there's not a really good way of finding out. Just a lot of I&I, getting sewer lines televised and finding trouble spots, cracks in lines.
I thought it was funny too after I said it, but it's okay that you're laughing. You're laughing with me, not that.
Yes, we are. Because we ask those questions when we go on the tour of the facility.
That's right.
Some other adjustments that are considered for fiscal year 26-27 include 3% for all full-time employees. Supplemental requests are one-time costs. They don't have the useful life of like a capital improvement plan, but they are a one-off cost. Include a roof for the sample station, a Duralabel starter kit. It's my understanding, or I can go into a little bit farther, but it's kind of so they can make their own signs to put on equipment.
Yeah, just like in danger or anything like caution at doors or anywhere else that we need them.
And that would be used across city
Yep.
facilities, not just for wastewater.
Sure.
And then some skid loader broom attachments.
Thank you. Water fund? Kobe's all yours.
Okay. Colby Stricken, Water Plant Superintendent. Dave Hughes, Superintendent over the distribution system. Personnel-wise, so we're a grade 4 water plant, so that's in the state of Iowa, you got 1 through 4. We're, most grade 4 water plants are typically surface water, we're lime softening. Our distribution is a grade 3. So our personnel, we have me and Dave and Ron, and then we have 5 operators. And they range from, not quite a year of service, and then all the way up to 13 years of service. And the different licenses vary, but we do have a pretty solid staff with years of experience in and licensing. Then we have the guy that does meters, and he's working on his licenses to transition through to be an operator once he gets his licenses and get through some of the smart pointing that's taking place. Number of our water counts, 4,103. Our average daily water flow is 4 MGD. Our highest peak flow last year was a touch over 5.5 million gallons per day that we pumped raw. That's pretty much our max at the plant and max of our source to a gallon. So we're pumping at max. Number of wells, we have 11, only 9 are in service. Once 22 is done here shortly, that number will go up to 10. Number of water towers, we have 4. with Tower 5 now in service. Number of clear wells, we have 2.
We have a number of miles of water pipe is 90.7 miles. Water mains, we're at 82.4 miles. Irrigation, we have 4.19 miles. And the raw water lines, 4.11 miles. And the number of hydrants we have in the system is 540.
And our average water loss historically, and continues to be around that 12%, which is fairly typical for most water systems. I think anything 15 and above is usually where they start getting concerned, and the DNR kind of wants you to step in and do like a water audit. So, you know, we're taking what's billed at the end of the month versus what we pump out of the plant and divide that out. So we're right around that 12%, which is historically what we've been in my 13 years of service.
What causes the water loss?
So potential leaks, you know, a valve, connection, you know.
At the plant itself or out in our piping?
It would typically probably be outside the plant where we can't see it. You know, drought years, it could be a small leak and it soaks in the ground and you don't see it. There's potential where, you know, it could be getting into storm sewer or in his sanitary pipes where it's not surfacing in the ground and we just don't see it. So, I mean, when they have CTS come in and clean and jet their sewers, sometimes when they camera it, they could potentially find a leak or, you know, so that's kind of where those numbers come from.
Now, do we have somebody come through once a year or twice a year that supposedly does ultrasonic listening to see?
Once a year, and then if we need him for sporadic spots, if maybe we have a problem, then we'll call him in and he'll come in and check it out.
Okay. We don't have the equipment ourselves to do that then.
Not in that, we do have a acoustic system, but it's just one person, not in the other, we use Western leak detection. They use a correlation method, which they can cover a lot more ground with that system.
I just watched a guy doing it last spring, I think it was done. And he went up to the fire hydrant, took the thing, set it on the fire hydrant just that quick and pulled off, and I thought, you can't hear it that quick. It takes a little, you gotta be there for a few seconds, not just tap it and go.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
it takes, he's been at it a long time.
Now, when you say the number of water counts, that is just for the, like, in Storm Lake and maybe the south side, southwest side of the lake, is that correct?
That should be, that's all our utility and active accounts.
Okay.
Now, like Lakeside, for example,
They have their
our
own
customers Lakeside, that counts as one. It doesn't count the residential,
Okay.
all of the residential units. Whereas to a 64 unit complex in Storm Lake, that's individually metered, would be 64 to that count. If you have 164 unit complex serviced by one meter, that'd still only be one count.
And Lakeside and like Truesdale all have one meter, and then they just meter their own water, they bill it out. I know how
Yep.
How Lake Creek does theirs, but, okay.
Yep, because it's about who's the active account with the city and City of Lakeside,
Then they
Lake
collect
Creek
their own.
Association,
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct.
Gary, could any of this water loss have to do with meters that aren't working? We had talked about that 2 years ago, maybe, yeah? So where are we on that, getting those meters?
Yes, so the answer is yes, they could be attributed to the meters that do need to get replaced. They have Colby and Dave Tyler explain our meter replacement process because we have been working really, really hard to get those replaced. The meters actually in Storm Lake are owned by the property owner and not by the city, so that's where it gets a little bit difficult to get a new meter into a location because the property owner has to purchase it and then hire somebody to install it.
So last spring, you're correct, the council actually enacted an administrative policy where we can notify the property owners to get those done. And If they're not completed, then we can go into an assessment process to get those completed. We've seen a great turnaround and reaction to when we send the initial letters for the service lines to get them done, several of them. Whereas I think we have about 34 on the last count that I saw of meters that are dead. But we have a total of 93 meters that are not currently reporting to the downtown water tower on an automated system. So we're working on through those 93 first, and then we will go back and start capturing the rest of those. Yep. Because those would be billed on an estimate basis as opposed to the actuals, which could contribute to water loss high or low.
And Tyler mentioned something, again, the ordinance that was approved by city council that gave us, a little bit more teeth in our water. I guess making sure that service lines were laid, curb stops were repaired. We've had success in that, more so than we have in the entire 10 years that I've been here, so I appreciate council passing that ordinance. These guys are nodding their head too, so.
What's the average cost to purchase a new meter and have it installed?
So a normal 3/4 inch meter, we don't do the installs ourselves, you have to hire a plumber, but we sell the reading devices. Meter itself is approximately $600, and then the automated reading system is about $200.
And I think what's left for the 93 is all, have to be set up from appointments to get inside the house. Those ones are all ones that we have to get in. So when we were knocking a bunch off the list, a lot of them were outside, so we're kind of down to setting up appointments and finishing out the last leg of it, so.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? It looks like tours to the 5th grade and middle schoolers are still popular?
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Yep, we actually got a new one set up with homeschooling group from the Alta area, I believe, coming up the 26th. So about 35 kids and adults coming through that.
Very good. Thank you. I think the education is important. I think Councilperson Martinez has spoken about that at each budget hearing, how important it is for the kids because they influence the behavior of the adults. Thank you.
Are there any of these older towers that have to be inspected inside and recoded soon?
Yep, so those are built into the CIP budget already. So going back, the initial plan was to get rid of Tower 1, but with Tower 5 in, everything seems to be working fine, so we're going to be able to keep it. But we do know that is going to have to get some maintenance, some recoding, and all that. And that is built in for our inspections. We have that built in every year. The last inspection, everything was nothing glaring. We were doing it every 3 years, and they were okay with us moving it to a 5-year inspection plan. So, but yes, that is built into CIP. Tower 2 recoding's coming, but Tower 1, now that we're keeping it, is probably going to bump up ahead of Tower 2. But they are built into the capital improvement plan and part of the cost estimates and raises for water.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Mr. Gibbons, were you going to say something?
No, just good.
One other quick question. The well down by the Family House Center.
Yep.
I see they still have to put that back together?
Yep, so, talked to them actually about a half hour before I came up here today. That should be buttoned up here within a couple days. That one was taking some extra cleaning. It's been a little longer on the maintenance schedule with our emergency repairs. That one has gotten bumped back, and that well is from 1968, so it's been relined before, so they actually have to clean 2 screens. So it has taken some extra efforts of cleaning, and ran probably an extra week or week and a half of cleaning down there, but they should have that one buttoned up. And sadly, we didn't gain a lot of capacity on it. We're trying to go for a little bit more, but I just don't think we're going to get there. So the last time it was maintenance, we were about 500 gallons a minute, and we're going to settle out at like 300 gallons a minute So, that's just the age of the well, and like I said, it's been relined once, so, you're cleaning 2 screens, part of it, so I think we should have that one buttoned up, and we should hopefully have bacterias on it. So once it comes back online, we gotta test bacterias and stuff on it, so I'm hoping we can get a set in yet this week.
Do all the wells run variable frequency drive?
No, not all of them.
Just
All the
some
new
newer
ones.
ones?
Yes, yep. Some of the ones that we have, revamped, we have gone to, yes, VFPs, so, yep.
But this
Anything-
one's getting so old, it's
Yeah,
like it
it's
isn't
not,
worth it.
nope, so, nope.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of the shot over the bow, letting you know this one's approaching end of life. So,
Yep.
Do you have any projection of how long it'll last?
not really.
No,
We're gonna
even-
run it till it drops.
Yeah, I don't really want to say or what, because, yeah, I mean, it could, 1968 ran a long time, but stuff was built better back then, so.
Yes, we were.
Yeah. So, no, we'll see, and
Any other questions or comments from the council for Colby or Ron? Okay.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Stormwater fund?
So you're stuck with me with stormwater. Repeat is unavailable. So stormwater fund, this consists of administration division, a collection division, and the street sweeping division. So they sweep about 96 miles of lanes in Storm Lake. All streets were swept 7 times last year, 3 times in the spring and 3 times in the fall. They do sweeping in January, February, March timeframe as time allows. I think they were just out last week doing it with the weather that we've had. So they actually sweep when they can and as many times as they can throughout the town. They cover Central Business District. It's a little bit more difficult with parking on the street, but they did get to it 5 times last year. There's 745 stormwater intakes with 64 water control measures. Some of the projects may be highlighted. 5th and Northwestern, that did get completed by a contractor. They did do some intake repairs, and then very similar to the repairs on 5th and Northwestern, there was one at 916 East Milwaukee, a couple on North Emerald Drive, and 9th and Erie, and 3rd and Lake. Revenues for the stormwater are projected to be the $535,000, which is slightly higher due to we bill stormwater based on equivalent residential units. And that's measured by the amount of impervious surface that a normal residential unit is. So if you have a commercial building and a parking lot, it's generally going to have more impervious surface that's going to generate more runoff, and that's the structure that we use. So the construction of the additional Vacating properties, for example, created additional ERUs, which is why you'll see also an increase in stormwater revenues. One thing to note for fiscal year 26-27, the stormwater bond, the $729,000 revenue bond, will mature on June 1st of 2027. And to keep the user fees stable and consistent, we're looking to fund about the $900,000 to $1 million portion at stormwater of the Oneida Street Phase 2 project with a replacement revenue bond. So the fund balance, in conjunction with additional revenues and future revenues, we'll look at what's going to be needed to complete that based on the timing of it. So we'll utilize those fund balances as well as probably borrow for that portion of that project for the stormwater. All of that, again, will have to come before city council before any action is taken on the stormwater line. Any question?
Anything from council?
Do they, some of these stormwaters, the intakes have a removable manhole cover. Do they go around like once a year and suck those out, or so they don't fill in too much with sand, or?
Yeah, I can't speak to their actual plan on where they get to and how often they get to them, but yes, they do do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, they've identified areas that need maybe a little bit more attention than others.
The landfill fund, this is not garbage service. We do not supply garbage service to the residents. This is an assessment fee for the use of the landfill. This is billed based off of per capita from the Solid Waste Commission to the city of Storm Lake, so our census, and that's going up from $34 to $35 beginning July 1st of 2026. So next year, that rate is increasing. We pass that fee on to the customers at a rate of about $8.50 right now, I believe, is the landfill rate. That hasn't changed in several years, but that remains consistent. Very similar to the stormwater fees. As you bring additional utility accounts online, you're going to see more of the collection of those. So that also helps offset any of these increases by the Solid Waste Commission toward us. The landfill fund is also the portion that handles the citywide cleanup efforts. So last year, they collected $2,900 in revenue and spent about $12,000 in staff time and disposal fees for it. So in October last year, the council took action on this program to allow recycling at the disposal center more than just the 1 week a year. So in that effort, we've sold 118 tickets of the 350 available, totaling about $1,700 in revenue, and we've expensed $1,300 on 39 redeemed tickets. Those 39 redeemed tickets have totaled 8.35 tons, including 17 TVs that are 35 inches or larger, 4 TVs that are 24 inches or less, and 5 appliances so far.
I have to tell you, I've probably got more comments, just people saying that this is, why didn't we do that? Well, I don't know why we didn't do it 20 years ago, but they really, that's been very well received, I think.
And there's still tickets available.
And there's still two.
And probably time for another reminder on our Facebook page. Thank you.
But 8 tons, just from that process. Holy cow. That's a lot.
I do think it was a good idea.
I think it helps the community. We have many different schedules around town to accommodate their own schedules.
Sure. And I'm sure staff appreciate it.
Yes. Those that
I'm just
were
guessing.
volunteering those locations who didn't have a choice to be out there.
Voluntold.
Voluntold.
No, and we also appreciate, the recycle center too. This is new to them as well, so for them to work with us on the ticket process, we appreciate that as well.
Any other questions on the landfill fund? Tax levies.
So the goal around property tax in Storm Lake, kind of gave a presentation about how they came about on our last one. So the goal is always for stability and sustainability for not only the city for future planning, but as well as for the residentials who are the payers on that. So this year's proposed tax levy is actually proposed at no change. We will keep the tax levy the same. We'll go through it, but you'll see some things went up, some things we were able to adjust down to try to maintain that stability and sustainability. So the consolidated general fund levy that happened during the 2023 legislative session with House File 718. House File 718's goal was to get everybody back down to the $8.10 levy cap that's several years old. But they are right now, as I talked about last time, looking to revamp this again. So this is kind of the structure that we have this year until further action is taken. So this year, as I discussed, for fiscal year 26-27, Storm Lake's non-TIF taxable growth was 1.41%. That did not trigger House File 718's limitation factor. Therefore, we can go back to the $8.10. So the consolidated general fund proposed tax levy is at that $8.10. The other levy on the taxes is your insurance levy. Insurance, as I mentioned, is increasing by 11.73% for general property insurance and liability insurance. That proposed levy rate is just over 78 cents per thousand. The employee benefits include health, dental, vision, disability, life, IPERS, Muni Fire and Police, FICA, unemployment, work comp. It's basically everything for attractiveness for city employees. Just to be able to stay competitive in the employment world, the benefits that the city is able to offer, the biggest one you probably all hear about the most is IPERS. It makes us a little bit more competitive. We did see a decrease by 0.28% in our health benefits for the first time since 2006. And that's without changing any coverages for our employees. However, we did see an increase of 4.4% for some of the other ones with life, dental, vision, and disability insurance. IPERS, Muni, Fire, Police, those rates for fiscal year 26 as of right now, or 26, 27, excuse me. See, I don't remember what year it is.
Well, it's not 31 yet.
Those are, as of today, planned to remain the same for next year. Our bond debt service, it's like last year when we discussed when we issued for the new fire truck, the goal again, stability and consistency going forward. So that proposed change is 1.3. It's less than 1/1000th of a cent per thousand. So the stability is there. Total outstanding obligation is $12.4 million of general obligation bond debt, significantly lower than fiscal year 2022, which was over $17 million. So we continue to pay down the debts.
I just want to, I know that last year, council approved the budget with some significant changes and significant reductions. And so what happened last year led us into a very stable budget this year. And so just to kind of highlight, we did eliminate 2 positions in public services. That was reducing the expenditures of $114,000. Reduce the library staffing by 1 full-time employee, and then decrease materials funding, which was $37,000. We removed the in-kind economic development support, such as curb cuts and curb replacements. That's a little bit harder to put an annual savings on. It depends on what the projects are that year. We eliminated the derelict building program, which was $70,000. The outdoor water park and golf course reduced expenses and increased revenues, and then reduced the outside agency funding by $50,000. And then in addition, we also did a prepayment for the fire apparatus, which resulted in $600,000 savings over the life of the bond. And then we made employee handbook adjustments that saved $33,564. All of that sounds, when you start adding that up, it gives us into the position where we are today. We're not like other communities where we're looking at, what are we going to reduce? We did that already. We did it early. I feel confident in our future here. During the budget year, we even made additional adjustments. So there was 1 office manager position eliminated at the police department. We did eliminate the community service officer position with the police department. That is also now handled through the building code and compliance department. That employee is actually here at City Hall with our utility billing. We were able to increase pay for sworn officers by $1 per hour in support of the recruitment and retention process. And all of that included reduced expenditures of $35,717. So you know, we had hard decisions to make early on, but I think it puts us in a really strong position where we are today.
And I think it's a lot to be said about our city administration and our staff, that these cuts were made, and I don't think anyone in Storm Lake noticed any change or drop in service as a result of these. So we're appreciative, or I am, can't speak for the council, I am very appreciative of the creativity and hard work of all of our department heads and all the staff who work so hard to keep us financially stable and functioning.
Also in a year where we spent a ton of money cleaning up.
Yes. Storms.
Storm
Yep.
damage, so
Yes.
that's impressive.
We haven't been able to build that reserve back, but
Baby steps.
we didn't make a big dent in it either.
Right,
So,
right.
and again, this is what was done, you know, last fiscal year and this current fiscal year. Department heads are also looking at ways to reduce operations and maintenance costs all the time. You know, looking at the cost of, you know, trash bags or anything like that. So, I mean, it's something that everybody is looking at reducing their budget.
Any other questions or comments regarding the budget for these funds from the council? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilperson Ramos, second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Reiner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And to our clerk, please note the time, 6:11. That's an inside joke.